Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of the Tuesday News. We will be reviewing the checklist for documentation for the 2017 school year that you have on your yellow envelopes if you're elementary or your blue envelopes if you're middle and high school. So take pause for just a moment and go ahead and get all 5 of those stickers out and we'll review them together. Okay, so the first checklist that you should have is your September um, checklist. And this is September 23rd, which should be right before we go out for September break. You will notice that your school designation letter on school letterhead is up here. Make sure that you upload that to the right folder. The Parent's Right to Know, it is a copy of the Cobb County School District Parent Information Guide. You're going to include that in this folder. You only are going to use the focus and priority letter if you are a focus and priority school. You're only going to use the copy of the Parent Notification FLP letter if you are an FLP school. Here there is an error, so I wanted to go over that with everyone. Here it says the Parent Involvement School. It should say Parent Involvement Policy for the school. So make sure the Parent Involvement Policy for your school is included. You're going to put that into section 3.4. Then you're going to get a copy of the district policy, which I will send that to you, and that's going to go in section 3.3. And then your school compact is going to go into section 3.5. So here is where you'll provide all of those to me. You'll notice that the due date is September 23rd. Please send them once they are approved. So that means you have to have them approved by me before September 23rd, before you put them in the envelope before you leave for break. There are no team updates here. There are no team updates because we did not meet as a team. So what you could do is just strike through here. There are no team updates. So you can just draw a line. I can't really draw the line, sorry about that. But if I could draw the line, you could draw the line right here. Just draw a line through that one. We don't need team updates. The Georgia Pick 101, if you participated in any of the state webinars, you can put that information there. A lot of times I'll send you a confirmation email. That's an easy place to put there. All the staff development is due by the end of the month, so you would put all of your documentation for staff development here. We did not meet for our teams to have an Engage One ticket out the door, so you can just exit off of that. That was pretty self-forward. Take a minute and let's get the next one. Okay, so if you take a moment and get out the November 18th, again, this is before we go out for break for Thanksgiving. I'm going to have you guys put those envelopes into me. Let's go ahead and go through the documents that are needed. And this is a great way to just keep up with the schedule. If you're wondering what you should be doing in September, you've just reviewed the September. If you're wondering what you should be doing in October, November, these are the next steps. The document receiver letter is what we send home during our conference week. High schools, I know that you send home this letter at different times. Just email me and let me know when you send them. But the receiver letter goes home with all of the documentation during conference week. You're going to provide your teachers with everything that they need for the number of students that they have. Any students that don't show up for conference week, the teachers are required to send those home. And you, as parent facilitators, you will follow up with that information. So you have the documentation receiver letter. You're going to send that home with everything else, with the compact, the policy, and your school designation letter. So for those of you who are wondering when you actually send the documentation home, you send it home in October. You put it in the November checklist, but you actually send it to me now in September to get it approved. Also, by this time, actually it's due October 30th, all the documentation should be placed on your school website. Again, that is the designation letter, the policy, and the compact. You'll get them approved from me. You'll work with the media specialist or the other person at your building who's responsible for putting the items onto the website. All those items will be put onto the website, and you're going to print out a copy of the page of your website and send it here. So you're just going to send me the copy of your website that says Title I and has all the documents listed. You'll put that there and check it off. Also, everything that you're doing for your fall input meeting, all the fall input meeting would go here. A lot of people are having their input meetings now, which is perfect, but you won't send it to me now. You're going to put all of your documentation into the November envelope and send it to me in November. Also, for the annual Title I information meeting, that has to be completed by October 30th as well. A lot of you are doing the input meetings now and the annual meeting now. That is perfect. However, I don't need the documentation until November. There's nothing that you're required to send or to upload to me for that. Just actually take all the information and send it here. It has come to my attention that we will not be meeting in November here at Rose Garden because that day is actually Voters Day. So people will be voting, schools and different places will be used for voting, so we actually will not meet. So you won't have a team update and you will not have a ticket out the door. All right, take just a moment and go get the next checklist. So for the month of December, January, and February, you'll be working on the next items, which are due February the 17th, which again is the break right before we have our February break. Wow, this makes the year seem like it's going so fast. So in the spring, you'll have another staff building capacity professional development that will be uploaded into your spring folder. It's not currently there. It'll probably be there around Christmas time because that doesn't need to be done until the next semester. So sometime between January and February, you will have your staff development. The non-HQ letters, cross off the HQ letters. We will not have HQ letters this year. This was done before. You will have a team update and you will have a ticket out the door because we will meet in February here at Rose Garden. So February is pretty much a breeze. Let's grab the next one. All right, here we go for April. Again, these items are going to be due in April the 28th, which is actually after spring break. So you'll have some time in between your February and your April. There is going to be a second input meeting. So this is where you'll put all your information for your second input meeting. Your second input meeting can be anytime between March and April. It needs to be completed by April 28th. So here's where you'll have your input meeting. Here's also where we'll begin the local surveys. Those surveys will be provided for you this year. So you will have, this is a very important thing that we need to talk about this year though. However, with the surveys, you are going to be required to implement all the surveys onto SurveyMonkey because that is a service that we will be using. So we will provide you with an electronic copy of your survey. If you get any paper copies received, you will have to input those at the local school. The second item is the district survey. And again, the district survey is going to be a little bit different. A SurveyMonkey will be provided for you. And this is the district survey. So you will be sending those out to each family. And once again, any items that you receive in the years past, you box those items, the surveys up, and you sent them to the Title I office. The big difference this year is that you will send home a hard copy with each student or family member, and you will keep them into your binder for just a copy. But what you are going to do this year is you are going to input the district survey results at your local school before you leave. So for the year. So as you're getting them in, you're going to continuously put those into the SurveyMonkey. Again, the district will provide you a link for your local school survey as well as your district survey that this year. This is a really big difference, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. So you'll just have surveys in the month of April. Okay, one more, and who knows, it'll be summer before you know it. Okay, last but not least, we've made it all the way to the month of May, and this is what will go home right at before school is over. You will have the Parent Involvement Compact for 2017 and 2018. Again, this is due, this is new, this is due before you leave for the year. It will either be a final copy or a draft copy. It is highly recommended that the final copy come in this envelope. There are some instances where teachers or students or staff members will be meeting in the month of June after school. If that's the case, please put a draft here of your 2017-2018 policy. These policies are due with the school-wide plan, which is June 30th, and administrators and principals know that. So we would like to try to get them in May. That way we have all summer to review them. And the hope is this year that we'll try to have those available for your July meetings. Here again, the compact, you'll let me know if this is a final compact or a draft. It's for 2017-2018. I will make that correction right there. And your document receiver letter. The receiver letter, we also want to see that, a copy of that. And there is one more opportunity for district school surveys. Before you leave, you're going to submit the hard copies of all of those into the SurveyMonkey link. I want you to date and initial each survey. Right on top of the survey, I would put NLH for Natalie Hutchins, and I would date it May 15th, 2017. That's the day that I entered it into the SurveyMonkey. If you need to box those up, box all the hard copies up and send them to our office before the end of the year. There sometimes is a cover letter that can go with that, and we will provide all that for you. Okay, well, that's a wrap. That takes us all the way through all of our checklists. If you have any questions, please submit them to the help desk.